Connor, he is a social bug. He loves people. He loves to make people laugh. He loves games. He loves sports of all kinds. Very caring, very compassionate heart for other people. Just a goofy, fun-loving kid.
My name is Connor McKenzie. I'm from Michigan, Detroit. I'm 18 years old and I love sports. I played football, wrestling, baseball, whatever you could think of. What I really loved the most though was probably boxing. The discipline of it was just always, it's just a good feeling after you do it.
Connor's health was good. He would do fun-loving. He would just be able to do sports, do things, and go out and just be just a regular kid.
So he was in middle school, 8th grade, football player, having fun, and then he was diagnosed first with ulcerative colitis, and then through that process, by January 2020, we had the PSC diagnosis for liver disease. They told us that everybody handles it differently. It's rare. Usually within 10 years of diagnosis, you need a transplant.
A young life put on hold. As Connor's condition rapidly worsens, his only solution would be the most drastic of options, a liver transplant. And until he can get one, months, if not years of misery await.
I don't really remember what it feels like to feel normal.
These are the minds of medicine. This is their story.
Hello and welcome to Minds of Medicine. I'm Joanne Purton. For 18-year-old Connor McKenzie, coping with liver disease meant putting his entire life on hold. While his classmates were planning for college, Connor wondered if he would even make it out of high school. Because of an irreversible condition that was destroying his liver, Connor needed to find a miracle. And that journey began right here at Henry Ford Hospital.
The disease that Connor had is called primary sclerosing cholangitis, for short PSC. What that means is that there's a autoimmune attack to the bile ducts. The bile ducts are these little tubes that are within the liver, and their function is to collect or drain bile to the intestine.
And like bile leaks into my bloodstream and it causes me to itch. It causes jaundice. It's a disease that's supposed to get like worse over time. Like there's no like improving it.
At first, he was fine. It was just, he didn't have any symptoms. They told us it could be dormant for years. And then 2021, after he turned 16, the symptoms started.
I just remember I was at school one day and I was just itchy. Like, why am I so itchy and it's not going away? I don't see anything, like my skin's fine. I was like, what the heck's going on?
As it progressed, I could definitely physically, he's just scratching, and that's all he would do constantly. Itch, itch, itch. You would see welts and scratch marks and scars on his hand.
It just becomes tormenting after a while. You can see like, okay, something's wrong here. Is there a medicine? Can you give him some shots? And he's dying here. Something's going on.
After different attempts at the whole repertoire or a drug armamentarium, it was very evident that he was not doing well. So in that process, I decided to start a transplant evaluation for him as a form of treatment for this problem.
So we had suggested early on that Connor's best road to transplant would be a living donor, and that they should poll friends and family to see if there was anyone who was able or would potentially be a match.
They decided to list him, and he was listed in June, right after he graduated high school.
One of the nice things about living donor liver transplant is you have the opportunity to get transplanted when you're sick, but not too sick. So you're a little bit healthier. Your ability to bounce back is much more pronounced, and then your ability to survive long-term is much better.
We started the program in 2000 in December, and we're very lucky to have continued nonstop as one of the longest running living donor liver programs in the country, with excellent outcomes both on the donor side and on the recipient side.
The adult-to-adult living donor liver transplant was pioneered in Michigan at Henry Ford Hospital in 2000. Since that time, Henry Ford doctors have saved over 150 lives using this approach. For Connor, it's likely his best chance at getting back to a normal life.
The donor, after they have part of the liver resected, they will immediately start to compensate, meaning there's going to be a signal to their liver saying, we've lost a lot of volume here. Let's start to repair ourselves. After the operation and for the next 1 to 2 months, the liver is regenerating, it's growing back. Part of what was taken out.
The fact that the liver can regenerate is a huge advantage. We often talk to patients because patients understand the liver can regenerate. Anyone coming to us as a potential donor, whether it be for a family member or altruistically, we want to very carefully assess the risk to that patient. How safe would it be for them to have liver resection, and how much liver could they donate safely?
I had gone through the process to be a donor, and I was rejected due to physiological and anatomical things, as how they explained it.
With no family members suitable for donation, Connor was left with few options. Like thousands of others, he would have to wait for a deceased donor liver, a process that could take years. But his team at Henry Ford searched for one last alternative, an altruistic donor, someone Connor would never meet, who would donate a piece of their liver anonymously.
They were same blood group, that the anatomy aligned, and the leaders of the living donor liver transplant program, Dr. Vanka, Dr. Nagai, selected Connor McKenzie to be the recipient.
I was like stunned. I didn't know what to say.
This is amazing. Like, that's so awesome. Who comes out of the woodwork out of nowhere and says, I'm gonna give you half my liver anonymously, right? It's very rare. Many people say it's very rare. And out of 12 people that were evaluated, they picked him.
Having living donors who are altruistic, who come in and volunteer to give from their own body and risk their life to a stranger, is one of the most unique moments you can encounter as a transplant surgeon. That these are just amazing individuals. And I've said it before to them, you are our angels on earth, because they delivered something that saves a life that none of us can deliver.
It's just crazy to wrap your head around someone being that generous to risk their life. It's a serious surgery. It's a very major organ and very risky. And I just don't want to be stuck in this bubble of sickness. I'm just ready for that to just move on.
Hey, Connor. Hey. Ready? No, nervous. Don't know what's going to happen in the next hour or two. I think they're nervous. You're like that, whatever. Okay, so we're hopefully going to go back in like 15 minutes for the most part and get started. And as I told you,
I feel like he just went through a period of, why am I even here? You know, I'd rather just die. You know, he would say that to me, I'd rather just die. That breaks the heart of a mom. Yeah. When your kid talks like that, when he's got so much life and potential.
I won't. Well, I think he'll feel better within a day or two for the most part, but within about 1 or 2 weeks, once when all the bile acid, which causes most of his itching problems, go away, he'll feel a lot better pretty quickly. Nationwide, people have recognized us as being some of the leaders in certain areas of the field. We are definitely one of the innovators, and people look to us for guidance. I've been kind of the Pied Piper for the robot kidney transplant throughout the country. So whether it be at Duke, Mayo, Leahy Clinic, the robot's the same everywhere. So when we go ahead and train people at other institutions, they have the same equipment. We were able to take advantage of the new technology with the Da Vinci robot to go ahead and do most of the dissection in Connor's case with the robot so we can minimize the incision required to put the new liver in to sew it in again. We were able to basically make an incision just down the middle of his stomach, and it only went down to the level of his belly button for the most part, and that's a lot smaller than what we would normally do.
The prognosis for Connor in the absence of a liver transplant would have not been good. I think he would have continued to suffer from signs and symptoms of liver disease. I think over the months or even years, new symptoms would have added.
Just steps away from Connor, another transplant surgery has been underway for several hours. The anonymous donor is also undergoing a minimally invasive surgery to remove part of their healthy liver. As soon as it's removed, transplant nurses will prepare it for Connor. It will be out of the body for less than an hour.
Liver's in the room.
There was a lot of mixed emotions that day. There was a lot of nerves. Your mind starts playing through all the, things that could possibly happen. Just trying to pray and put trust in, this is going to be okay.
Most people are very willing to donate to their loved one, family member, or even good friends. To find a truly altruistic donor, where someone who's willing to give up a part of their organ or a kidney in some cases to a complete stranger, is very unique. And I think it has to be praised overall. I think his donor is very unique to have that kind of personality and traits to allow him to do that.
And how long will his recovery be?
I'm hoping to get him out within a week. If everything goes smoothly. He's a young guy, so he should be okay. Everything worked out the way it's supposed to. His liver's nice and pink and working pretty well. We'll get a better idea probably in the next 12 hours or so, and then go from there. Okay. His itchiness will still be there for a little bit. As I told you before, it's the bile acid that is kept in his skin, so that's why he's itching all the time. And then when the liver starts clearing, it takes a little bit of time to get rid of all the stuff that's in the skin to get rid of it. So if he's itching and acting kind of weird for 3 or 4 days, don't worry about it. It looks really nice, and I think it's really soft, everything looks great. So pretty happy with how it came out.
It was just a surreal moment, it's over. Now the healing begins.
When I woke up, it was pretty weird not being itchy, and it just felt like a weight lifted. So I just felt free, I guess. It was a weird feeling.
We asked him, are you itching? Do you feel anything? He's like, no, I don't feel it at all. And he has not scratched one time since the surgery.
He was like a different man. The yellowness of the skin has started to go. He was very happy. I think it was completely a life-saving event for him.
My energy came back pretty quick, when I got home. I was completely different. I was always just uncomfortable, more vocal, and everything. So I do feel different in that sense.
He's been doing quite well, and he's basically asking to go back to work right now, which is great because obviously one of the nice things about liver transplant or any organ transplant is that after you get it done, you're no longer bound by medical issues that prevent you from going to work, prevent you from going to school, and those kind of things. And I think he's excited to get back to a normal life, especially for someone so young.
Last year, Henry Ford Transplant completed more than 175 liver transplants. It's the most in Michigan, and they are one of America's leading transplant centers. They also perform the most combined liver and kidney transplants ever in the state, and the most kidney transplants in a single year in Detroit's history. Henry Ford Transplant is one of only a few in the United States to perform intestine transplants, and the only team in the state to perform combined lung and liver, as well as heart and liver and multivisceral transplants. It is Michigan's most comprehensive transplant program. And just 6 weeks after his transplant, Connor returns to visit the team that saved his life.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, you look great.
Thank
It's
you.
good to see you. How are you feeling?
Feel good.
It's amazing. The transformation. It's like you had Hollywood makeup on before and yellow, and now you're normal color.
When I saw the doctor today, I was most curious about working because I can't wait to get back to work. And when he gave me the green light, it felt really nice. So I'm ready to go.
Can work. A couple restrictions I would say are weight lifting restrictions. Just because you're still healing from the surgery, you can easily develop a hernia if you overdo it weight-wise.
to see the difference now, and just he's able to talk and he's able to think clearly, and he's not scratching constantly, and he doesn't have all the scabs all over his body, and he's just a totally different person now. It's just amazing.
It's very rewarding. I've worked in many different areas in nursing and done some things where you change people's lives, but nothing quite like transplant. I have 4 children of my own, and I'm glad that I don't have to live through what they went through.
I think about the donor all the time, and I just wonder what their story is, like what brought them to this decision. And I'm just so happy that they did, because without it, we could still be in a very different place and struggling and searching and, waiting.
It's an amazing gift. I can't believe, again, somebody would anonymously just decide, hey, here, to a random stranger. It's amazing, and I'm very thankful to that person.
I think what drives all donors is the urge to help others. And from an altruistic standpoint, it's an urge to help anyone, I guess.
Then they go through the experience, and many of them would say that it has elevated their appreciation and their gratitude about life, about healthy living, about their presence on earth and the meaning of it all. Some of them tell me that it has opened a view to the world that is more positive, more kind. It's just because you choose to see that.
Some instances we've seen altruistic donors approach us a few years after they donated a kidney. So they donated a kidney altruistically or to a family member, and now they want to become liver donors as well. This is great, this is tremendous. It spreads the word of transplant, and it helps us continuing our mission of giving life.
It makes you think of life differently a little, like you're more grateful for things and you don't take things for granted, really. I'm forever grateful for that person, and hopefully I meet him someday. Thank you for the second chance, and I'm not gonna waste it, and I appreciate it.
An anonymous donor came to Henry Ford Hospital willing to donate a portion of his liver to a stranger in need. 18-year-old Connor McKenzie was chosen as the recipient. Connor's new liver and his living donor's liver grew back to full size in about 2 months. Both are doing well, and tonight, Connor will throw out the opening pitch to Joe.
I look at it as a second chance at life, because I felt like my life was declining while I was sick. It felt like I was probably gonna wait a really long time for a donor, since the family members came out negative for the living donor. And I'm grateful for that second chance, and I'm ready to get my life back in a way.
For Connor, this incredible recovery would not have been possible without his altruistic donor. Although we will never meet them, they're like any one of us. In fact, thousands of altruistic donors give a kidney or part of their liver every year. Their willingness to save someone through this gift of life is remarkable, but also more possible than ever thanks to the efforts of the Henry Ford transplant team and others like them. To learn how you might become a living donor, go to henryford.com/transplant. Thank you for watching.